Again, like I said, if there comes a situation where they finally meet up with Eggman and finally do get Sally back and all that, basically all that, if from what I can understand from a story standpoint, it sounds like perhaps it's all going to just be unleashed when the time's right. Like when they finally save Sally, maybe restore her, that altogether, more importantly Sonic, is probably going to lay a can of whoop ass on Eggman for what he had done. And yes, Sally might throw in a few punches here and there too, but I'm just saying. That's what it seems like to me, like he's keeping it all inside. So that when the time finally presents itself, the can of whoop ass will be open. And basically, that would mean all that uncharacteristic that you, my friend, and anybody else watching this may agree about, and may not agree about, will all finally come out again and basically be like, you know, you'll see panel after panel of Eggman just getting his ass kicked to a point he'll be to the point that maybe if Ian goes in this direction, he'll beg off and say, okay, you win. I will never roboticize again, kind of deal. Or whatever. I don't know. It's just something. I don't know. Anyway, continuing on. He says the next loser in this entire story arc is Silver. And this is why they say that, and I quote. Okay, I nearly feel bad about the way Silver has been treated since his debut. Since his debut in Sonic 06, he has been treated the worst of everyone I've seen. Take a look at Shadow, Knuckles, Blaze, and other character debuts. They were great. The games those guys debuted in were well received by most people and fans. Silver, on the other hand, got the short end of the stick and debuted in probably one of the worst Sonic games in the 3D era. The story and graphics were decent, but the game-breaking glitches, bad controls, and that one scene in the final story, we all know the one I'm talking about, killed it. Since then, he's been treated poorly just because he was given a bad debut and nothing to redeem himself with. Now this whole traitor ordeal was Silver's main drive in the comics. And now it's been revealed that it's no one, just makes it worse for him. The fact that he's been making himself look like an ass in front of everyone in this wild goose chase, and now that it's no one, I bet Silver is not liking this one bit, and I'm not either. I just feel bad for him. Okay. I can understand, and you know, anybody being a Silver the Hedgehog fan may not like what happened, and I totally get that. But here's the thing. It's like you said, the game 06 was good, story-wise and graphic-wise and all that. But you have to understand, whether you like Sega or not, and believe me, they've been under some controversial memes in the past and all that, or whether you like Nintendo or not, anytime they bring out a good game, or they feel a game is going to be the next big thing in the gaming franchise for a certain character, they do whatever it takes. They introduce new characters. They do whatever it takes in which they feel will make it memorable. They bring in new characters that they feel is going to be like the next rival to the main character. And that's what Silver's situation was. And think about it this way. Silver has been made up for that in several games as well. You know, I think whether it's an Olympic tie-in or something, he has been made up for that in some ways. Heck, he even appears in Sonic Generation. What else more can you say? But again, I understand what this person's saying, and I'm sure some of you may or may not agree with it. That yeah, the whole finding out there's possibly no traitor at all deal in the comics, after he's been doing this for almost, 70, 80 issues, you know, one would have to feel bad for him, but again, you know, what are you going to do? It's just the way it's written. And again, you got to look at it from Ian's perspective. He may say, you think there's no... Because Ian Flynn, he'll be more like the lines, and forgive me if this sounds maybe a little rude, but Ian Flynn's the kind of guy, like any comic book writer, that would go like, to when they would hear... Because this is how they would act. if they hear people thinking there's no traitor at all, he'll be like, someone like Ian Flynn or any comic book writer will be like, ah, you think there's no traitor, but is there? You just have to wait and see. You see, that obviously is what Ian Flynn would tell somebody like this individual, saying that, you and your friends think there's no traitor, but is there? You see? So, but I can understand where they're coming from with saying Silver is in the losing category. Now the next loser, well, shouldn't really come as much of a surprise to anybody in the category. Sally. And this is why they say Sally's in the loser category, was one of the real losers in this arc. And this is why, and I quote, very obvious why she's been a loser in these past few arcs. She was roboticized, weaponized, and now that she's been sent to kill her friends, family, and loved ones. And people who have been roboticized remember everything, if my knowledge is correct. So I can't imagine what will be going through her. So I can't imagine what she will be going through after she is cured. I think they did this because Sega had something to do with it. Archie had a grand plan with this that got derailed by one Ken Penders. Or they just wanted to justify a redesign. Either way, Sally has been treated poorly through this, and I have a bad feeling that she's going to be dealing with this for a while. If they pull a Mina-like PTSD thing, I swear to God, Archie is asking for angry friends. Basically they're saying if they pull a Mina-like PTSD thing, I swear to God, Archie is asking for angry fans to come at them. Okay. Yeah, there's no doubt if you're a Sally fan, and I'm a Sally fan, there's no doubt about that. You kind of feel bad for the fact that she's put in this situation. Now, depending on who decided to justify the situation, we do it with Sega saying, hey, you want to keep the Saturday Night characters around? You've got to make them look like they're in the games. Even though we'll never put them in the games, you got to make them look like they're in the games. Or even if it was Ian or Archie just padding up to them and saying, hey, Sega, we got a great idea. We're going to redesign the characters for the 20th anniversary, make them look like they're in the games, even though you'll never put them in the games. So I can understand where they're coming from. And yes, the aftermath is what everybody's worried about, exactly what's going to happen afterwards. I'm pretty sure a lot of people assume she's still going to be the same, and I know she will be. Personality-wise, she will be. But what they're worried about is she's going to be so angst over what she's done. In fact, one of the thought processes one of the theories that have gone through my mind is she's going to start seriously doubting if she's really meant to be a leader. Because if she's willing to do this, but not realize what's going to happen afterwards, it makes you wonder. Now, I look at this from a positive standpoint. I look at it like this. Yes, she's going to regret what she's done when she was a boss face. Yes, she's going to regret the fact that she didn't see Eggman modifying her and doing what she did. Modifying and weaponizing her. I get that. But I think what's going to be in the end is she's going to start realizing, you know what? And I think this is the direction Ian Flynn's going to go. I'm just saying that my personal opinion, I think, is where he may go. That she's going to go like, and he's going to ride her to the point that she's going to be like, you know what, guys? We can still come up with plans and stuff for missions, but we got to start acting like Sonic. We got to start embracing his cool factor. In other words, no matter what Eggman throws at us, we just got to shrug it off like, hey, is that the best you can do? Because no matter what you throw at us, we're still going to beat you. Can you get what I'm saying? I think that's what they may be heading for. It'll still be the same Sally, make the plans, come up with everything. But as soon as they get on the mission, they execute those plans and everything. Just have the attitude of, hey, is that the best you could do kind of deal. Don't let Eggman see you sweat or anything. I think, honestly, that's the direction they're heading for. I could be wrong. Alright, the next loser, they say in this, is Nicole. And this is why they say Nicole's the next loser. She gets exiled because Mina thinks she will go rogue again. Mina decides to write a song about how evil Nicole is after talking to Ash. Not Sally, not Nicole herself, Ash. Her jackass of a boyfriend, and uses the PTSD card as her reasoning. I have a huge problem with that because I know people who have served and they suffer from PTSD. It's not a pretty thing. Like if they hear something loud, they immediately hit the deck. Mina tries to make herself look like the victim, which eventually causes Nicole to be sent into exile. Now after all Nicole has done for everyone, they treated her that way. They treated her that way, and just the fallout from that makes Nicole a loser in the recent arcs. Yes, that is true, but yes, that might be true in some ways, but let's not forget. Mina, if you want to justify Mina's actions, she did it out of the fact that she wasn't rationally thinking. She wasn't really rationally thinking, and she's come to, as you probably know by now, regret what she's done. She's made amends with Nicole. Nicole is back in the city, so there you go. Alright, the next one they feel is a loser in this entire arc, Knuckles. And here's why. And they say, Endangered Species arc started out somewhat decent, and for some reason I saw the beginning to part 1 as a bit of a nod to the movie Red Dawn. And then Penders happened, and Archie decides to remove a huge chunk of characters, and now Knuckles is one of 2 echidnas left. This sounds strangely familiar. Wait a second. Knuckles is the last echidna left? Sega Sonic game-wise, not including SCTB cause, that ended on a cliffhanger and Shade hasn't been seen since? Now I know the characters were removed because of this damn lawsuit, but seriously, that's not cool. How Knuckles lost Julie Sue and the others. Just at the end of the arc, when Thrash vanishes, Knuckles realizes that everyone is gone. I feel bad for this guy. He lost the people he loved. Now on to my final loser. Okay, I get where you're coming from with Knuckles being a huge loser here, being a loser in these arcs. I get that, but again, it wasn't meant to be this way. As you said, the lawsuits caused a lot of things to be changed. If it wasn't for the lawsuits, those characters would still be around. Let's remember that. Let's remember that. Now, the next one, the biggest loser, they say, is the fans. Us, the fans. And here's why. Yep, this shouldn't surprise everyone. Look what we've had to deal with. Flynn's shock value shocking our stories, very crappy Deus Ex Machina plot fillers, very poorly written characters, unnecessarily and unpopular redesigns, plots that just scratch our heads, and one pissed off former writer who thinks he has rights to characters that he technically doesn't own, no matter how much he claims they are his. And the lawsuit that followed, causing a good chunk of characters that were very well liked by us. Yeah, we are dealing with a lot on our plates with this damn comic. Though we shoulder on thought this hell we keep on reading. I feel that we are the biggest losers because of things are being forced upon us because of several events that just ever so happen to fall into place one right after the other. Hopefully soon enough things start to turn around for the better. But I think it's going to be a long road ahead of us, my friends. Either Archie and Flynn get the blank together and make a better comic, or the subscription rates will eventually plummet. I know there are a lot more winners and losers I could have listed, but this is what I feel are the biggest ones in my honest opinion. If you guys want to add your own or strengthen the one I listed, go right ahead, my friends. I want to see what you guys have to say. And that's basically part 1 of this week. A week of Sonic Rants. I will provide the link down in the playlist in the description box. this, so you guys can check them out yourselves. I'll be back with part 3.